Hello, my name is Bruce Barkley and I'm a student here at J-Tech, and I'm here to go over some of the parts and pieces that are inside of a manual transmission, and also to tell you how power flows through a manual transmission. We have a manual transmission cutaway right here, and first of all I want to go through some of the parts. First thing is the input shaft. This is where you will find your clutch assembly, and there's a friction disc that rides on this. It turns this shaft. You got a pressure plate that sits outside here, and then you have the flywheel, which is mounted to the back of the engine. But you can't see any of that here because we got it all out of a vehicle. This is our front input shaft bearing. This is our input gear, and then we have some other gears back here. We have what's called dog teeth. We have a blocker ring. We have a synchronizer assembly. This is another synchronizer. This is additional dog teeth, and this is another speed gear. And you have dog teeth, a synchronizer. This is the blocker ring, synchronizer. Another synchronizer in there, that little brass ring. You have more dog teeth and another speed gear. This is reverse gear, and this is the fifth gear, and this is for the tail. This is tail shaft bearing. So that's some of the parts. Also on this side, you have shift rails. This is first and second shift rail. When the transmission is in this position, let's see, I don't know why I can't move it. I'll figure it out. When this shift rail is in this position, first gear is engaged. That's this gear right here. Okay, and that gives us first gear. Then you're going to shift to second by going with this shift fork, and you're going to go this way. Now we're in second gear. This becomes your power gear. Then to go to third, you're going to go here. That's third gear. And then this is fourth gear. And this down here, when this shifts this way, that becomes fifth gear. Now how power flows is, it starts up here. This gear is fixed to the input shaft, and when we're in neutral, we can spin the input shaft and the output shaft opposite of each other. So there's no gears connected. We need to lock in a gear in order to get this shaft to spin. Now it's locked in, and it will not. It's going to transfer power to the rear of the vehicle. Okay, so now we're back in neutral again. How does the power flow? First of all, it starts off here with our input gear, and down here we have a countershaft. I'm going to turn it around here so you can see a little better. Down here we have the countershaft. These gears are permanently mounted to this shaft. They cannot be removed. They're made as part of the shaft. So when this gear, which is also permanently mounted to the front section of this shaft, rotates, it rotates all the other gears that are on it. And that rotates all the gears that are up here. It's called constant mesh. That's what the term is. All these gears are in constant mesh with each other. And as long as the input shaft is rotating, so is everything else on here. Okay? But we don't have any output because we're in neutral. When we want first gear, we engage it like that, and now we are locked in, and this will rotate, this will spin, and the power will flow down here, across this way, through this gear, up to here, and then it goes out the tail shaft. When we go into second gear, locked in, it goes from here down to here, up to through here, and then now out the tail shaft. when we go to third gear, the power will flow down here, up this way, then out the tail shaft. And each time we're shifting into higher gears, which are actually called higher gears, they are spinning. This is going to spin faster due to their gear ratios. This is fourth gear. All right, and our power flow is from here up to here, up to there, and then out. Then finally, oh wow, I didn't want to do that. And finally, okay, now then we go into fifth gear, which is back here. And now fifth gear is running, and the power flow goes from here, down through here, all the way out to here, and then out. That's our power flow for first through fifth. For reverse, we have what's called a reverse idler right here, which moves back and forth. The same shift fork that moves for fifth gear moves reverse idler, puts it in reverse, and now when I spin the input shaft, you see that the output shaft spins the opposite way that I'm spinning the input shaft. That gives us reverse. Okay, now we're back in neutral again. I want to show you some more parts. This is a speed gear. It has bearings that are on the inside of this, so that it's free to constantly rotate on the shaft while the transmission is spinning. And this gear will not spin until it is engaged. And I'm going to demonstrate how a gear gets engaged real quick. First of all, you have this cone, and you have a blocker ring. And what happens is when you put the transmission in neutral and you're about ready to shift it into another gear, the blocker ring will be pushed on by this synchronizer. And what it does is it allows you to shift it into gear. Because what happens is while it's spinning, it slows it down and matches the speeds up, and then once it's lined up, the synchronizer will slide past here and lock the gear into place, so then it locks it to the shaft and you can spin it. Also, while I have these parts exposed, I want to explain that this is a synchronizer hub, and we can see part of it by pulling out these parts. This is a synchronizer hub, and this right here this ring is the shift ring that's on the outside of the synchronizer, and then you have insert keys, and there's 3 of them per assembly. And this is basically how all this stuff works together and what makes the shifts happen. The blocker ring works because it has these little ridges on the inside of it, and those ridges is what actually stops the rotation of, or what slows down the rotation of the gear, and allows everything to line up with the dog teeth so it can be engaged. And that's basically how all that works. Now right there, that's locked, and this gear would run if it was actually in a transmission. So there you go. That's a whole lot to take in for a couple of little minutes. I sure hope you enjoyed watching the video today. Thank you very much.